Hi guys, I'm gonna tell you how we make lasagna in our family. This is actually a recipe from an aunt that we have modified. I'm gonna show you how we make a tray of meat lasagna as well as a veggie lasagna. So let's get started. Okay, so here I have the vegetables chopped up on this plate. I have used 2 packages of mushrooms at 200 grams each. So I've sliced that. I have half a cup of chopped onions, 2 bunches of green onions. I also have 3 cloves of garlic, which I will crush with the garlic crusher. And I also have a red bell pepper chopped up in there. Next, I will be stir frying these vegetables in a little bit of oil on medium to high heat. You want to do this for about 20 minutes until the onions are browned, and remember to stir frequently. Next, I'll be adding a half a teaspoon of fennel seeds and continue mixing. Now I'm going to add some spices. So here I have a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 4 teaspoons of curry powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. You could adjust this later according to your taste. I do later add a little more salt and curry powder. So I'm going to mix that in. So next I'm going to add a big container of spinach, about 450 grams. It's going to fill up the pot to the top, but it will eventually come down so we can add the other sauces. Okay, so I add 1 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes and 2 cans or bottles of tomato sauce. I use a Hunt's brand thick and rich pasta sauce, as well as the Italian herb and fresh garlic sauce, but really you can use any flavor. I like to use 2 different variations to add more flavor. So here I'm mixing in the diced tomatoes, and next I'll be adding in the tomato sauces. Okay, so we're going to mix that really well. I'm going to let this simmer for at least half an hour on low to medium heat. I'm just going to show you the brand of the mock meat that I use. So it's the Eve's brand Italian veggie ground round plant-based simulated ground beef. So I have this on the plate over here. I'm going to fry this in a little bit of oil on the side. And here's the ground chicken that I use. I use about 450 grams. I'm going to fry them in the 2 pots separately in a bit of oil. Okay, so my sauce has been simmering for some time. I've also added half a cup of water. So we're just going to let this simmer. I've also added 4 more teaspoons of curry powder and a teaspoon of salt. As I mentioned previously, we do like lasagna spicy. So here's the ground chicken and ground simulated beef that I fried in a bit of oil until they're cooked. It's optional if you want to add a pinch of salt and pepper to the grilled chicken. So here we have our lasagna making station set up. These are the lasagna sheets we use. You make sure you get the oven ready kind if you are following this recipe. So we have 2 packages because I'm making 2 trays, 1 veggie and 1 chicken. So here we have the sauce. It's the same method to make both the veggie and the chicken lasagna, so I'm just going to show you one. So we have 1 cup of Parmesan, but I split it into 2 portions, 1 for each tray. Then I have a large container, 750 grams of cottage cheese. I also have 2 big slabs of the pizza mozzarella cheese at 400 grams each. So I've shredded that and put that into 2 portions as well. Okay, so we're going to start with adding the sauce at the bottom. I use about 2 to 2.5 cupfuls of sauce, but really these amounts are approximate. You just want to make sure you cover the bottom layer of the tray. Okay, next I have put in the lasagna sheets overlapping one another on top of the sauce. Above that, I will add half of the cottage cheese that I had designated for this tray and just spread it out. Next, I'm going to sprinkle 1/3 of the mozzarella cheese that I had designated for this tray over the cottage cheese. Okay, I'm going to add some sauce on top of the mozzarella cheese, again just covering the layer, and then we'll sprinkle some Parmesan cheese. I will sprinkle about half the amount I had designated for this tray. Now it's time to add another layer of lasagna sheets like we did previously. And again, I'm going to put the remaining cottage cheese on top of the lasagna sheets. Next, we add 1/3 of the mozzarella cheese over that. We spread the remaining sauce on top of the cheese, and then we sprinkle the remaining Parmesan cheese, and finally we top the lasagna with the remaining mozzarella cheese. So you can do as many layers as you want. Just make sure that you end off with the sauce, the Parmesan, and then the mozzarella cheese at the end. So both trays have been covered in foil. I'm going to bake this at 350 degrees Celsius for 45 minutes with the foil and 30 minutes without the foil. You want to let it cool for 15 minutes before cutting in. So there you have it. That's a recipe for spicy lasagna. Hope you guys enjoyed as much as we did. Thanks for watching.